morning, fourth graders.
Morning, teacher.
Morning.
How you doing? Okay.
Great.
So, how was your weekend? Okay.
Cozy.
Yeah? You guys going to see The Hobbit tonight?
Heck
Yeah? I'll see you right there. All right. So, we had our greetings. Now it's time to calm down. Can anybody tell me what we did last week in class when we're talking about sentences? Yes, Scotty.
We learned to speak stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Cork.
Verbs.
Yes, that's great.
Sentence structure.
Yes, that's wonderful. Okay, now, does anybody remember what goes at the end of a sentence? It's that dot thing.
Exclamation point.
No, that's when you're like shouting something or something.
Oh, that's generally how I speak.
Adrian, what goes at the end of a sentence? Do you remember?
It's the ball.
Kinda. Does anybody want to help him out? Yes. Work.
Period.
Yes, it's a period. Okay. Now, what can a sentence start with? Yes.
Capital letter.
Yes, that's great. But what is the word? You capitalize the beginning of the word, but what is the word itself? Max, do you know? It describes
A noun?
a person? Yes, a noun. Very, very good. Okay. So that's sentence. Now, what we're going to do today, guys, is we reviewed. We're going to go over nouns, verbs, and sentences. And then we're going to describe what a verb is. And then we're going to differentiate what a weak verb is and a strong verb is. We're going to find out what the difference is between those two. Now, and then we're going to play a game. Yeah, all right. So what I did was I wrote a story on the board, and you guys are going to fill in these blanks with verbs. You can ad-lib them. You know what ad-libbing is? No.
No, it's when you ad-lib me from class 2.
Scotty, what's ad-libbing? Do
It's
you
when you
know?
ad-lib me from class 2. It
No.
makes everything better.
No. Well, yeah, she's a very valuable part of the class. No. Ad-libbing is you get to fill in these blanks with whatever verb you want. So it's going to be kind of fun, okay?
Fantastic.
So after that, one of you guys are going to come up and do like a Pictionary game. So you're going to draw pictures, and then the class is going to try to guess what verb you're doing, okay? And then what we'll do is we'll make mind movies, and then we'll review what we did in class. Does that sound good? Yeah? Okay. So, does anybody want to take a guess as to what a verb is? Verb? Yes, Cork.
It's when you do something.
Yeah, very good. Now, who wants to give me an example of a verb? Like, what kind of word? Now, you don't have to be right, just I'd appreciate it if you guessed. Yes?
Exfoliated.
Sure, exfoliated could be one. How would you use that in a sentence?
Mickey exfoliated the deadbeat.
No, that's not appropriate, but good shot. That technically is correct.
Yeah, see, I'm correct.
But
But you just said I wasn't
Yes.
correct, though.
Kick.
yes. Okay. Hadrian, what would be an example of a verb?
Ran.
Ran. That's a good one. Max, give me another verb.
Punched.
Sure, that works too. Now, like you're punching a bag, right?
Yup.
So anything that you do with action, like wave, or kick, or run, those are verbs. Yes.
What is the verb of what I just did in this chair?
You're sitting.
What
You're
is that?
spazzing out. That's kind of a verb.
Okay, there we
Sort
go.
of.
Spazzing
Yeah.
out. I never knew what that was.
Alright, so those are verbs. Now, we're going to learn, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, who wants to
You forgive you?
ad-lib what verbs we could use to fill in these blanks? So, Sally playing at her friend, come on, it's time for the race. Yes.
Screamed it.
Screamed it is not really a word. Try again. You're close.
Exclamated.
Sure. Exclamated. That's very advanced.
I'm advanced. I'm on exclamates, man, every time I walk in on the guys.
Please forgive me if anybody sees a spelling error.
You're forgiven. You're forgiven.
Okay, thank you. Alright, does anybody else want to put a verb in? Yes, Court.
Yelled.
Yelled, that's great. Yelled. That's perfect. Okay. So yelled at her friend. Come on, it's time for the race. Max, you want to give me a verb? Cork. Max, do you want to give me a verb?
Talked.
Yes, sure. If I see, this is your first warning. Talk. You get 3 warnings before you're sent to the office. Okay? This is 1. Alright?
She gives us like 25% more warnings. I like this teacher.
Okay. Alright, so those are great verbs. Now, what could you put in here? Sally blanked over to Lexi and joined her to begin the class race. Yes?
Crippled.
No.
It's like that kind of slow, shambling walk.
That doesn't really make a sense.
That's a limp.
Yeah, crippled.
Limp.
Guys?
No, cripples. Oh.
Stop talking, she's gonna get angry.
Okay, good job. Yes, Court.
Hobble.
Hobbled, sure, that could work. Sally hobbled over to her friend. Okay. Whoops. Okay. You can say Sally walked over to Lexi and joined her to begin the race. She ran over to Lexi. Now, in this last sentence, after the race, they blank into the building to grab a drink of water. What else could you put in there? Yes?
Ditched.
Nope.
What?
I guess you could, well,
They ditched into the house.
yeah, I
But the
guess
bus
that
was
could
coming.
work. Sure, ditch could work. Alright. I would appreciate it if everyone could guess once. So it's better to try than to not try at all, okay? Because you might get it right. You never know. It'd be great. Max?
Went.
Yes, that's great. Wait. Okay. So, does everybody understand what a verb is? Yes.
Ran.
That can work too. That's very good. Does everybody understand? Raise your hand if you understand what a verb is. All right. Sounds like you guys do. All right, so now we're talking about weak verbs. Now, the difference between weak verbs and strong verbs is that weak verbs are not very specific, okay? Do you guys need to stand up? I see some of you guys falling asleep here. You guys want to stand up? All right, guys, stand up for a little bit. Come on, get up, stand up. Do some jumping jacks. Yeah, there you go.
No, not at all. That is terrible.
Hey, Adrian, can you stand up, please?
He's not standing up.
Yeah, he is. He's just really short.
Oh, make fun of the halflings, why don't
Oh,
ya?
come on. All right. Good job. Okay, now I have your guys' attention. So the difference between weak verbs,
Why are you wearing a
you
dress?
can sit down now. Okay. The difference between weak verbs and strong verbs. Weak verbs, they're not very specific. So you could say said, or you could use them very commonly. Like you could say, I went to the store as opposed to I ran to the store. Yes.
So we should use weak verbs more often than strong verbs.
No.
But you use them commonly.
You could. But if you want to be really good at writing, you can use a combination of them. So you don't want to repeat yourself, you know? Because if I'm reading something that you've written, repeating yourself, that'd be kind of boring, you know? So it's good to mix up your wording. That's why we're going over weak verbs and strong verbs, okay?
Absolutely.
Do you have anything else?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. All right, so what could be some examples of weak verbs? Do you guys know? You want to take a guess? Yes.
Like right now?
A weak verb would kind of be like went. Sally went. Sorry, that doesn't make sense.
We forgive you.
Sally said.
Teacher, I think you're supposed to use the eraser.
It's fine. So Sally said at her friend, come on, it's time for the race. Do you guys understand why that'd be a weak verb?
Because she's not running at her friend?
Yeah, running is more specific, yes.
So that means she's going to lose the race because she's weak.
No, not necessarily.
Weak people win races?
Depends on what you mean.
Okay.
Okay, come on guys. Alright, so
I'm here.
she said at her friend, come on, it's time for the race. What could be another weak verb? Do you guys know? Weak verbs, what is said is very common. You can't really use any other verbs in there. Yes?
Is limped weak because she's limping?
No. That's more of a strong verb because it's specific, okay? Yes.
What does specific mean?
It means that you can picture in your head what they're doing specifically.
I understand.
Like,
Thank you.
if I said something to you, you could see that I'm talking to you, but if I yelled something at you, you could, which I'm not going to, you could picture that more, vividly in your head.
Thank you.
Okay. So for this second sentence, Sally blank over to Lexi and joined her to begin the class race. Could you guys give me another weak verb? What would be very common that you could say in there? Max?
Went.
Yes, that was very good. Went.
But we already used one.
We said said.
No,
put
right
in
there on the
said.
other lines.
Where?
Left
Yeah, left
and down.
and down.
Underneath
Right here?
Southwestern.
These were just examples
Oh, okay.
of regular verbs. Now we're going over weak verbs.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's regular verbs, which altogether are weak and strong verbs?
Yes, that could work. Yes. So went, and then what can we put in here? Adrian? You can use the same word twice, it's okay. As long as it makes sense. Okay.
I have no idea. Could you give me an example? I can only think of when.
After school, Scott went to his friend's house.
Got teeth.
Scott.
Is there any other words you could put there besides when?
Ventilate.
Proceeded.
What's that mean?
Proceeded is the same, it means the same thing as went. Like, I am proceeding to my desk right now. Proceeded means going. So it's the same thing. So, do you guys understand that?
Yes.
Yes?
Aye.
Okay. So, proceeded. It's the same thing, it means the same thing as went. But that is another word that you could put in there that is not the same word as went. Do you understand?
Uh-huh.
Alright, so do you guys understand what weak verbs are? If you don't, I can review. Raise your hand.
No, yeah, I understand.
You guys got it? Yes. Adrian? Gork? Max? Okay. So, give me some, now we're going to go over strong verbs. Strong verbs are, I think you'll understand them better. They describe what you're doing. Like, do you remember when I said you can picture in your head what's going on? Like if I was whispering to you, you can picture me whispering. So, what is a strong verb that we could put in this blank? Do you guys know?
Scream.
Um,
Scream.
yeah, that could work. Scream.